Hey everybody, welcome back to the Breath of Fire 3 walkthrough. We just finished with the Angel Tower, and we are now in the Downa Mines. So here we see Gar chasing around a dragon, and Gar destroying a dragon. Alright, so somebody's looking a bit older. Alright, so years have passed, apparently, and Gar has been looking for us. Man, I don't know. Alright, so Gar's been looking for us for a few years, and basically, I guess it seems like he's kind of, I don't know if I'd say had a change of heart, but maybe he's coming to the realization that that maybe the dragons weren't so bad, I guess. And yeah, so here you can see my stats. I'm like level 41 or something on this playthrough. I redid this again. But yeah, at this point, it didn't even really get. So I have like basic, like that's some of the stuff that you get at the beginning of the game, the bracers and the bandana. Just because my defense is so high, it didn't matter. It just didn't even matter. I just equipped whatever the was gonna give me the highest amount of agility, other than the magma armor there. And the reason for that is I actually just like to keep the magma armor on. There's plenty of stuff, especially in here, in the Downa mine that uses fire attacks. The fire slug comes to mind. So if they're gonna heal you if you've got the magma armor equipped. So obviously, being at 41, and if you've seen the other videos, you know that I basically lived in the volcano for a while. And thus have leveled up quite a bit, and have the the Gar and the main character have a magma armor, and I believe I've got even more. There is one character coming up, and I guess I won't spoil it, but we will soon be getting an old friend back. So, and he will be able to equip the magma armor as well. So. Alright, so basically you just walk right out the same way as the very beginning of the game. You walk all the way to the right to leave the skull of the dragon, of the green dragon. And you got a vitamin, and I believe a couple of shards here. Yeah, life shard and magic shard. I would recommend, being that I guess I was so over leveled and it just didn't really matter, but I was kind of hoarding those two. The magic shard and the life shard are very easy to come by, quite a bit easier than some of the other items, the stat boosting items, I should say. So I wouldn't recommend hanging on to them really. You might as well just use them as soon as you get them. Protein, on the other hand, is a completely different story. That is the most difficult stat boosting item. And generally, what I do is whenever I get them, the first one is like McNeil Manor. I think I hang on to that for basically the whole up until actually really soon here. We're gonna be able to go to the fairy village, and I think I might make that the next video. And it won't be I'm guessing this next video coming up after this one won't be anything story based. It'll be all about the fairy village. I definitely want to make a decent video on that, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. I love the, I shouldn't even say I like the Fairy Village. I love the Fairy Village. I think it's one of the coolest things in any RPG I've ever played. It's kind of like this. It's got this like builder feel to it, crossed with, I don't know. It's just crazy. The things that you can do with it is really make the game a bit more fun. I think you can do some really cool stuff. So, anyways, did we go up to B? Is this B1? I can't remember. I can't remember if this is B1, B2, or B3. But anyways, you ride the elevator and then follow. Grab the light. The light. Was that the light clothing? And that stuff is okay. It's got actually a pretty decent defense rating, and I mean the most important part is it's very, very light. So obviously, what the name implies, it is very light. So you know you won't be really taking hits to your agility. All right, so this guy is a little merchant that you can buy from if you find yourself in need of some consumables. Looks like he's got a Titan belt and high boots as well. I guess I didn't feel like I needed anything, so I didn't bother. And then I looked away for a second. I didn't see if there was anything in that cupboard. But I guess I'd make sure you check that. Then I don't believe there's anything else out here. I think you come right back inside the cave. It kind of shows you the outside of the mine, but there's no way to get down into the actual exit, so you have to come back. But like I said, I don't remember if there was anything in that drawer or not. I guess if there's nothing over there, you can skip it. I guess just come down to this floor, grab the clothes, and leave. Okay, this is B1. Okay. And then B3 must have been the level we started out on. All right, so enemies here. Obviously tons of zombie-ish things. If you watched the previous video, I suggested having the skill Kiri or Kairi. I don't know how that's supposed to be pronounced, but Gar learns it naturally at 26, or you apprentice under Handara for 5 levels, and it'll wipe out entire groups. It one-shots anything undead. You can combine that with the Gloom spell if you've got that. That's another old enemy skill that we got from the beginning of the game. And you can, like I said, you can combine that with Kiri to basically one-shot enemies. Even the ones that don't necessarily start out as undead. The ghouls obviously start out. They're undead already, so you can just cast Kiri there and take care of them in one hit. Being that I'm so over-leveled, it didn't matter. I didn't even bother. Look at I'm doing just a ton of damage with. This is, again, though, I'll remind anybody that hasn't been watching, but this is the Mage Ryu, and, at this level, it doesn't even matter. His auto attacks are still, or his, attack command is still very, very strong. Alright, so we want to get this chest, and if I remember right, you have to pull the switch down so that the tracks... basically what it's going to be is we're going to push this mine cart around, and then we're going to walk across the top of it. Alright, so here's the fire slugs. And again, these guys are the ones that do fire breath. So I have magma armor equipped on both characters, so you're going to see me just absorb this. If you don't have a magma armor, I would suggest equipping Gar with the asbestos armor to bring his resistance up to 100%, and then just equip the fire ring on the main character. And then he will still be able to absorb fire attacks that way. All right. But, gosh, yeah, look at the health on my character. It's insane. Same with that AP. 183. But, yeah, whatever. I'm level 41. I guess it's not... I'm insanely over-leveled, so it's not all that impressive. I did come through here, my most recent playthrough, very, very under-leveled. I actually just generally went through the entire game under-leveled, and, everything. It was much more challenging. I wouldn't say it was frustrating by any means, but at some points it does become tedious just because, you take a ton of damage from every fight, and after every fight you're healing up with consumables and whatnot, and it can just be a little more taxing. So, I don't know if I would recommend going crazy overboard like I did. 441 defense on the main character at this point. I'm wondering how many proteins I put on him. I would guess around 200 at least, just looking at my armor. And with... Wait, who did I apprentice with? I apprenticed with Migas for a very, very long time, and I actually did switch. I think I switched to Maryleap. So he was taking some, decent defense reductions. I believe, oh boy, I should really check here. I want to say Maryleap, and that's the Feather Sword in there. Feather Sword is pretty decent if you, really, if you don't have the Barbarossa already. Barbarossa is actually pretty decent in here. It's very strong. Nothing, I don't believe there's anything that's actually weak to the electric property here, but that's not to say that the power itself on it is actually very good. So, okay, Maryleap. Health -1, power -1, defense -1, and agility +2. So he did take a couple of HP, power, and defense reductions due to leveling under Maryleap a few times. I don't remember exactly how many times I did level up under her, and I'm not so sure it's very important, but that is also one of the reasons why my main character's power was actually not very good. Which, again, was fine, or to me it was anyway. Okay, and Migas here says power -1, defense -1. So, yeah, basically the entire time, every single level, I was at least taking, one stat reduction. But anyway, so you're definitely gonna just want to keep an eye on these tracks. You can actually see which way the tracks are pointing. Basically the switches here change the direction that the minecart will take, and it's not a difficult puzzle, but it actually is kind of. It took me a little while, I think, the first time, because I didn't understand how to make it go where I wanted it to. So, I pushed it around a little bit and was like, oh, okay, well, that's not the right way. And, you have to push it back. Yeah, Gar would be able to push it. Yeah, it looks that way, doesn't it? Which is exactly what I'm trying to do. I don't know. I think you actually maybe have to hit the action command to make him push it. And I think I was hitting, the dialogue. I think I was hitting X. So it was trying to more or less talk to it, and that's not the way you do it. So, all right, so that's the final way. You want to make that, you want to make this. The goal here, I guess, is to try to blow up that big boulder on the tracks. So here we are, Kabalooey. Take that. I like Gar when he looks like he grabs his belt and kind of stretches out. Kind of flexing, I guess. I don't know, that's what it looked like to me. Alright, if you missed the dialogue earlier, something's kind of been following us. And my feel from this thing was always this one was always, it looks to me anyway that there's members of the brood that were good and members of the brood that were not good or evil. And this one seems to me to be one of the evil dragons. So Yeah, so this guy wants revenge basically on the Guardian, and he wants, he wants to know. He wants Gar to tell him exactly what his plans are with the main character, and so obviously he's been holding a grudge. Where are you taking Mike? Where are you taking me, Gar? To meet our god. And Gar should have replied here. I already tried that once and it didn't work. But of course, okay, so Gar wants to know the truth. Gar wants to know why they fought this war, which Guardians destroyed us, tried to kill us all. Don't you despise him? Don't you hate him? So this voice, I don't know who this is. This is no, this has been a couple of times. So the very, very beginning of the game where, you're the whelp and you're about to torch the worker, something calls out to the main character and says no. And so, and that's what gives the worker time basically to use the crane to knock your character out. And so the voice is, or this presence or whatever is calling out to him again, saying, and it did stop us from basically killing Gar in the Angel Tower. It just said, no, he's not your enemy. So, not real sure who that is or who that's supposed to be. But, hopefully we'll find out. Anyway, so on to this actual battle. This battle can be a pain in the butt if you're not prepared. Here, I'm just gonna one-shot him. Not with charge, obviously, because it misses. But Kiri's gonna do the job. Bone Dance is a skill that causes confusion. It's basically group confusion, just like howling. So again, you're gonna want to have protection or from status effects for this guy, because you don't want Gar and the hero beating on each other. I obviously, like I recommended in the previous video, I just use Kairi because Kairi one-shots it. It's an undead. The Bone Dragon is considered an undead, and so any amount of, Kiri will just kill it. You can use, I believe you can use healing spells on him as well, and that'll do damage. But when you have access to the Kiri spell, it just makes more sense to one-shot him, I guess. Okay, so this being now is interesting. He points at it. It's obviously it looked to me like a female of the brood, and she had wings. And she points at the hero and basically says a true dragon. Excuse me, sorry. Alright, so what was that? So one of the things, I guess maybe I'm just noticing it now, but it always seems like the brood have like bluish hair. Maybe bluish purplish hair. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe that's not quite right. But that's I guess what I've noticed so far. And I believe I'm trying to think. I don't believe there's any. The zombie doctor. I don't think he's got any enemy skills. The ghoul. The ghoul has bone dart. If you haven't learned that already. The ghouls, the zombies are the same zombies from the very beginning of the game. The ghoul is the same enemy as Windian Catacombs. So, this isn't the first place you could have, potentially learned that. And the giant roaches. Giant roaches will cast it does actually have an enemy skill called Douse, or Douse. But it only uses it at certain times, and I believe it's It's goofy. I want to say it's after you've killed a fire slug, or when a fire slug is in critical condition. So I don't know if that's below a quarter or not. But anyways, all right. So here we got the lion's belt up here, and then let's find the. There is one more item in here, and I'm gonna look this roach up here real quick. Giant roach, giant roach. Hopefully it won't take me forever. Alright. Oh, there's the dragon zombie. You gotta be close. Giant roach. Okay. Alright, so, its AI works basically half the time it'll attack, half the time it'll use skills, and it'll use jump. But if either a fire slug is killed or at half health, or a flyman is alive, which there are no flymen here, but this won't be the last time we'll face the giant roach. But anyways, basically, if you want to try to learn it, if you want to try to learn Douse here. This is the perfect time to learn it. We either have to take this fire slug to half health, or we have to kill it. And that will be what triggers the giant roach to start casting Douse. Just know, though, that, let's see, you saw that it just used jump. So even though I took that fire slug to half health, it still does have a chance. Basically a quarter of the time it'll still use jump, and the other 3/4 it'll use Douse. So here's Douse, and it'll just, excuse me, it'll stay in this, it'll keep using either Douse now, like I said, there it is. It'll use Douse 3/4 of the time, or it'll jump a quarter of the time. So that's your time to learn it is, again, either once you've killed a fire slug that they've been with, or they're at half health. They will not use they will not use Douse if you started out a battle and there were no fire slugs in the with them, basically in their group. So that particular fight right there, that enemy formation with the one fire slug, two giant roaches, that is one of the setups where you can learn it. I just noticed I did skip a treasure in here, and the reason being is because we're going to come back. Actually, we're going to end up coming back later, so I didn't even bother. I can't remember what is in. There's actually, so basically it's a chest that I could have already got to, so I could have, I want to say it was like a multivitamin or something like that. And I could have picked that up, but in the same room there's a wall that needs to be blown up with Momo. And again, so since we don't have her right now, we'll be coming back here later. So I'll just, I know I took the footage of that, at a later time. But that is it for the Dawn of Mines. Not too difficult of an area, especially, I don't know, whatever. I shouldn't even say that. I feel almost guilty saying that just because, again, my characters were so over leveled. It just, I would have had to probably go out of my way to try to lose. But you do have to talk to the foreman before you leave. I actually, on my last playthrough, I tried to walk out the gate there and it doesn't work. They make you come back and talk to the guy in here. So, all right, what do you say? Why don't you stay here just in case any more dragons show up? So the guy's basically offering Gar a bodyguard job. Or, kind of like I guess today's terms would be like a rent-a-cop job. Oh, poor Gar. I think he's more useful than that, right? No offense to any rent-a-cops. All right, so this is pretty awesome. So here we hear about the monster on the road attacking people. So He suggests heading to Sin City to check it out. I wonder if I went back into that room. It looked like there was a cupboard in the... What am I doing? Talking to random people. There was a cupboard in that last room. Let's see if I walked back in there and checked it out. I don't remember if there's anything in there or not. It kind of looks like I didn't. Huh. Okay. Well. And you can't get through there. That looks like actually the tracks that led to the Cedar Woods. Yeah, wow. It looks like I didn't even go back in there. Or did I miss it and I wasn't paying attention? I'm not sure. Excuse me. Wow. Oofa. Sorry about that. Bad lung day, I guess. All right. So here we've got the main character torching people in the mines again. So that's a little... Oh, so this was the dream. Okay. Yeah, so the main character was dreaming about, himself running around torching people. So that's interesting. That's the first time you see the main character kind of losing control and running around kind of being a bad dragon. So I guess maybe we'll talk about that. Probably not next episode. It'll be the one after. Because again, I think I'm going to do the... I think I'll do the Fairy Village next, because this is the right after this is the first time that you can actually go in there and do really accomplish anything. So, anyways, this game is coming to a close. So like, comment, subscribe, whatever you want to do. But I hope you join me for more videos. All right, thanks for watching.